Chapter 21. In conclusion. After humanity ushered in the era of cooperatism, it became a species that proved to be a positive force in the world. It was no longer fraught with greed, crime, pollution, inequality, hunger, homelessness, and war. This change opened up an entirely new way of thinking, one of unification and shared responsibility. The human race, now working together, was able to automate and mechanize more and more of the workforce tasks, achieving that state of robotic advancement that left individuals the leisure time to devote to their particular interests, which in turn led to an even greater explosion of creativity, ingenuity, and innovation. The mechanization became more and more streamlined, efficient, and environmentally friendly. The footprint man left on nature became positive and served to nourish the ecosystems it came in contact with. Man reunited with nature without sacrificing his technology. There was indeed a renaissance of science, art, and philosophy unparalleled in history. Everyone was able to contribute their uniqueness, creativity, and personal perspective to the world around them. Knowledge and thought detonated in every conceivable direction. Humanity was able to escape the boundaries of Earth and build new civilizations on other planets. In addition, huge, self-sustaining, man-made space complexes were constructed and colonized. The species transformed from a needy, gluttonous, selfish destroyer of nature to a loving, respectful protector and champion of nature and the new worlds it came in contact with. This philosophy slowly altered the perspectives on the spiritual aspects of life, breaking down the need for formal religions and blossoming into an era where each individual cultivated an internal and personal relationship with whatever or whoever they considered God to be. An individual's relationship to that power was considered unique to them, and everyone was encouraged to find their own way to balance their spiritual nature with their physical nature. Human beings lived much longer, healthier, and more productive lives. The medical sciences focused on preventative solutions, natural remedies, and the use of non-destructive, evasive technologies. The money system throughout its long history became more and more unwieldy, more and more complex, more and more cumbersome and oppressive. The only thing that prevented humanity from breaking free was the fact that there was no viable alternative. There was nowhere to go except back to a money system. The money system was unable to deal fairly and meaningfully with humanity as a whole in order to create a nurturing, stable equanimity and a harmony in which the common man could truly thrive. It was unable to control the free-ranging greed and corruption that was indelibly a part of that system. The money system, in all of its political and ideological forms, capitalism, socialism, communism, had and would always have innately within it the seeds of greed and misuse of power, and that, given time, given enough opportunity, would ultimately lead to a kind of control over the common man, as was seen in the 21st century, limiting his freedom, draining his energy, and locking him into a kind of compulsion, a kind of addiction, a kind of slavery, if you will, to money. It was such an obsession that it became his God and the ultimate meaning of his life. Even after the advent of worldwide cooperatism, certain communities would periodically develop a fascination with the history and legacy of the money system. It held a sort of mystique in their minds. This led to isolated attempts at times to reinstate it in some way within certain boundaries. Some of these attempts were successful for a time and were allowed to occur, for under cooperatism, individuals are free to live their lives as they choose, so long as it is voluntary for all parties involved. Over time, these settlements would ultimately fall into internal disputes over money and control issues and eventually disband. Centuries under a progressively dominating money system may have been just an inevitable stage that humanity had to endure in order to evolve into a new wisdom and understanding, one of a non-destructive, coexisting species in this ever-changing, vast universe of space and time. For humanity to evolve beyond its baser nature, it was obvious that the money system had to be discarded in favor of a more equitable system, a more balanced system. Early cooperatism filled this need and became the bridge to more refined variations that brought with them greater freedom and fulfillment for successive generations. It was clearly not an easy transition for 21st century Earth, but one which forever turned the tide of the human condition, and one which has left a legacy of peace and fundamental fulfillment, creating a foundation for mankind from which it could reach for and attain its loftiest goals.